What's going on, guys? This is Bossrosslp, and welcome to Jaden's turns test. So I'm just going to be going right along here and testing out all the turns of all the players. I've already done Ethan so far. Jaden is the next in line. The next one finished, and, you know, I was saying how Ethan's was probably the hardest so far, even though I only made one. I'm actually starting to think Jaden's is harder. So hopefully this is a trend where every single time I say that's the hardest, the next one I make is going to somehow manage to be harder. I'm not sure, though. I mean, my intention was to make mine especially difficult on purpose, and I think I'm making Zuper's last, so maybe the trend will break there. I'm not sure. Either way, let's just do my one run through and then I'll do a nice little slow walkthrough. I'm not going to be doing a no-hit of this one. I was pretty good with Ethan, taking like very minimal hits. Here, a lot of this is just memorization. Or, well, with Ethan's it's more memorization. Here it's a lot of just reaction time. Well, I guess there's some memorization. A lot of bullshit. Let's go. So this attack is not hard at all. Honestly, you could just avoid... Okay, well, that was just a stupid... You can avoid the bombs very easily. Touching the balloons does not count. I'm going to make sure that I make that a point. I've also noticed that Jaden's is probably even louder than Ethan's. This one's really easy. Just dodge the little firecrackers. Easy peasy. The fireballs, though, this shit is actually really hard, especially in its second rendition. Because I draw those fucking rectangles so fast. I'll be going over everything when I actually do it, so for now I'm just going to be paying attention. Oh, Jesus Christ. You can usually stick to the left here. God. Come on. Alright. Bounce up. Over there. Shit. Shit! Fucking Lev, you sack of shit. So what you got, yo?
Heard you like guns in your Urum's campaign.
I wonder if he's gonna realize you can just do that. You can sit right with the arms. Oh god. This one is fucking impossible. There's no way Jaden's gonna be able to do this with lag included. This is more for like if Zuper and Ethan want to have... Oh, there's a hit. There's a hit. I'm actually not doing too bad. I think if you stick to the right here, you're actually pretty good. Oh god. Fuck! Then you overcorrect and then you just get destroyed. Alright, now comes the ultimate attack. The ultimate attack's actually not that bad. If you want to dodge the head, it's friggin' impossible, but I'm not gonna make it a requirement to dodge the head. Dodge out of there. Over there. Over there. Off the board almost. Over there. Over there. Over there. Off the board. And here comes Ultimate Death Laser. I win. Not too bad. I think if Jaden did that performance that I just did, I'd be more than satisfied. Again, all these guys are going to be doing this on their first try, so I don't expect perfection, especially for the person who made the fucking thing to be able to take, like, how many hits did I take there? 6 or 7? I don't even know. I lost count. For me to take only that many hits, and I'm the person who made this, I'm pretty much going to be like, hey guys, if you can get through it with, like, maybe 10 to 15 hits, I'm satisfied. I think, honestly, Jaden probably has a harder time here, especially with his lag. But anyway, let's do our nice little waltz back through this and go through everything. So, of course, we start off with the surprise motherfucker, which is ironic. I'm going to be making notes that every single time it's a different person's turn, it's going to have like the Smash 4 siren sound. But for the very first person's turn, it's the fucking surprise motherfucker, which I guess works because the way I'm going to organize it in like the little tutorial section, Jaden's going to be the last person to test out before we jump into like the main deal, which you guys will have seen by this point. You'll understand what I mean. So it just says, surprise motherfucker, you're not getting off the board yet, Jaden, stay on the board.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Alright, let's turn down that audio a little bit so we're not going crazy here. So the very first thing is, of course, the warning Breloons. Making these was not too bad. Breloom is from Super Smash Flash. I'm not sure which one, probably the second one, where Breloom is a... I'm not sure if he's a playable character or something that comes out of a Pokeball. Anyway, he's throwing out the Seed Bomb. It does a little pop. I gave it a little explosion effect. They are in black and white, of course, as is most things in this. You have the little warning signs, and Breloom just jumps out. The reason that I originally intended to have the warning sign when Breloom jumps out and not something like, say, a Pokeball, was that I was going to originally make Breloom be a physical entity, something that you could hit and take a hit from. I decided against it because I felt like Breloom's attack was largely based upon his position. The way he arcs the Seed Bomb is incredibly awkward to aim. The only way you can aim it into like the middle areas and areas like this is to really throw him on the board in places where it's really unfair to dodge him. So I'm going to make notes where it's just like you can hit the Breloom, it's not a problem. It's just don't get hit by the explosion of the Seed Bomb. It's pretty obvious. It has a nice big hitbox. It's a big circle. Just don't get hit by that. You can even get hit by the Seed Bomb itself, just not the explosion that ensues. I think that's fair. And honestly, Breloom's not too difficult of an attack to dodge. It's the opening attack. It's just something to keep you on your toes. That's pretty much all it is. And we get to that bullshit, which is a lot of just dodge to the side. Don't even deal with the shit in the middle. Then we get the Yoshi attacks. You get nice little crosshairs with the boop, 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 boop sound effect, which is really hard to hear. And then Yoshi goes like, heh. And he throws it out, and there's the egg. That is also from Super Smash Flash. There were a couple things like that. You know, I just realized there was actually one I never ended up using. I'm probably going to have, like, a trailer of all the attacks that never got used. One of which is a Charizard Flare Blitz attack. That is also from Super Smash Flash. I don't want to do too much shit from Smash Flash. So that is one of the attacks that got cut. I think this is like one of the first things I've ever made where shit got cut. And I didn't just spam everything. Yeah, this attack is not hard at all. It's more intimidating than it looks. If you just stick to around here and here, you dodge it pretty much fine. This attack. Now this one I'm really happy with. This was made in OE Cake as well. This was one of the very first attacks I made in OE Cake. Now what it is essentially is the fire feature. And if you draw with shapes, namely with, you can make little rectangles and squares, then it just drops them. Now when I watched Vinny's playthrough of OE Cake, or like I guess his little dicking around with OE Cake, I don't think the fireballs drop that fast. No matter what I really do with the gravity, the fireballs always seem to drop at max velocity. And that might just be a problem with the program of where I downloaded it, but it ultimately worked out, and I've played around with it plenty. And I've just accepted that I have to make the rectangle, and it's going to drop really fast. So it's off to the side, so Jaden has plenty of time to observe, and he won't get hit by it in theory. He'll see it and be like, oh shit, there's a giant fireball. It also says something along the lines of, don't worry about the fire flakes popping up. You can get hit by those, just don't get hit by the giant fireballs. Now this originally by itself was going to be the attack. However, it's a relatively easy attack to dodge when there's only one coming from the top screen, especially with this pattern here. There are two fireball patterns, which you're going to be able to see later on. This pattern returns. This is the one that actually comes from the bottom screen later on. So, because this is so easy, I throw in Leb the Slime. And this attack is bullshit, as you can clearly witness. It is very difficult to dodge Lev. I used the slice feature in OE Cake and just cut Lev in half. He is a bouncy texture, and that gives Lev a lot of buoyancy. It just like makes him bounce up and down. And if you move around with him, it's a very effective feature. I just felt like it'd be funny to cut him in half. You can actually hear me doing all the slurps in the background. Thank you, thank you. I know my slurp voice acting is top tier. And on top of that, Lev is sort of slurping along to the Spooky Scary Skeletons theme. It's a little hard to hear because it's doubled since he was cut in half. Yes, you can clearly see the mouth right there on the second half, making some of the slurp sounds. So it bounces up. The fire attack's basically done. I don't even know how to honestly dodge this. You just gotta pay attention, get really lucky. I guess, like, then, like, stay really far to the left or something. After that, the Lev attack just stops. He bounces around a little bit, but until he kills himself. So I'll watch Gaio, of course, because Lev is very difficult. I forget, what was the attribute for it? He's a Devil's Advocate. So Jaden gave him Sora Wachagayo. So there he is. This black screen was a little bit tricky to make. This is like one of the few things I could not green screen, so I had to green screen it myself, and it turned out okay. You can see the timer on the top, you can see him jumping through. It's not really an attack, it's just more of a joke, just to stop the Lev the Slime from bouncing around. I need a transition, and I'm like, you know, so watch your guy works.
So I heard you like guns in your realms campaign.
This attack I love. So I heard you like guns in your realms campaigns. So the guns come out, and this is the classic MLG guns come out, the pop, 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 like the fucking one shot, the tap noise, that shit.
So I heard you like guns.
And the arrows sort of illustrate where the bullets are going to come from. That one's drawn first, so it goes from top left to bottom right. This one goes next because it's from bottom left to top right, and straight through the middle. And you can see it roughly follows that pattern. So what you can do, really, is shoot right there, there. You can probably hide, like, about there, and you'd be relatively okay. Yeah. It's a really intimidating attack. It's not that bad. Then Fucker Right in the Pussy guy comes flying out of nowhere, probably really distracting, but it's just quick over here. As just a nice little troll. When I originally made this attack, I was intending to just use, or I guess not this attack, when I was originally making this part of the video, like minute 08 in, I was just going to have the Konosubas come back, or the Konosuba girl who's like, oh, like, you know, that shit from Ethan's attack. Decided not to reuse that, and decided to do the F right in the pussy guy. There he is. Now the skeletons come dancing in. They come dancing twice, at the very end and right here in the middle. The skeletons dancing here is completely arbitrary. It's entirely to distract you. The whole reason they exist is to be a distraction. Luckily, they kind of blend in the background, so it's not that difficult. You can actually see them like almost swimming through the lava before they jump back up. I also put them off time here. Later on, they're all timed perfectly together. Here, it's like this guy goes first, and second, and third. Just to be extra distracting, so there's a little bit of latency in their movements. And you can definitely see here how the fireballs are dropping from the ceiling and going from the bottom. I'm going to rewind a little bit so we have no lag on that. You can see it. So yeah, this is a new attack. There's the attack from earlier again as it comes from the bottom screen. It's really hard to see the fireballs coming from the bottom. Not impossible, though. You can definitely still see it. Would I say this is fair? Not exactly. I fully expect Jaden to take hits on here. That's why there are some extra hits to take. It's not impossible to dodge everything. I made sure it wasn't. Whether or not you have time for it, that's a different question altogether. Now comes Jaden's load attack. I've since finishing Ethan, decided to give all of us load attacks. Ethan had Sayonara Spin, which has so far been the most unimpressive of the total. I mean, spinning Sayonara Sayori was pretty fun to do. Just watching her explode when she's flying off screen. It's probably the funniest. I've also made my attack so far, which is the Dongo Bongos. The Ghostly Dongo Bongos, whatever the fuck it's called. I have not actually fully implemented that yet because my fight is not finished at the time of making this, but that part is finished, so my load screen is all done. This is Jaden's load screen, which is the Cinegaster's really laser-tastic barrage. Now, there's a lot to unpack with this one. First and foremost, that's not the Gaster you're probably familiar with. That is the Gaster from Terraria, specifically from the Calamity mod, I believe. Or at least I believe it is. So Cinegaster is not originally who I was planning to make with this. I was originally going to do Skeletron, or perhaps Skeletron Prime. And I also gave a little bit of thought into the skeleton worms from the corruption biome. But I decided against it, and I thought it would be funny to actually have Gaster be thrown in here. This is like the only actual Undertale reference, and even then it's not like a full Undertale reference. It's still like a half-half. And the reason it's called Cinegaster, not just Gaster, is because it has Sinistar sound effects. If you've ever played the classic arcade game, I have a full playthrough with Ian. Not like a full playthrough, but we played Sinistar a long time ago, about in like 2012, 13-ish. So it's been a hot minute since I've last played Sinistar. I hunger. So he comes growling at you, and it's the laser-tastic barrage, of course, because there's a lot of lasers. Now, the REEEE part, well, just listen. Fires a laser. Apparently, if Sinistar's voice is sped up, it sounds suspiciously like the REEEE sound effects. The REEEE! Like, it's a one-for-one comparison. I never realized. Wouldn't it be funny if all this time it was like a secret, like some hidden fact that all the REEEE noises come from Sinistar of all people, and I'm the person who uncovered this hidden gem of an internet fact? I highly doubt that's the case. But it's quite funny how Sinistar sounds very much like the REEEE sound effect. Listen to it. This is at 300% speed. That's at 400% speed. Like, it's hard to tell which one sounds more like it. I bet if you got like 350, you'd be right in the middle, right perfect. But yeah, the whole reason Sinistar noises are there, it's just to fill the gap between when it's flying around and actually shooting its laser. That's the 200% speed one, 400% speed, 300% speed. Nah, it's more 200% speed. Then it says, quick, get off the board. Really fast. But luckily you have a bit of time to realize that it's time to get off the board because he's spinning. He's charging in his attack. This is the best part. I fucking love this. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Everything about that part I'm in love with. Let's try to break that down a little bit. So, you have Sinistar, or Cinegaster, spinning around. You see him charge up the laser. Alright, let's see if I can get a good image of it. You can see it like start to charge there. He continues spinning and charging it as he spins. Nice frame by frame. And he launches the laser beams. Starts exploding from there. Explodes in a full circle as Cinegaster sort of flies into the middle and sort of like somersaults the circle itself. And the actual Sinistar thing I did with OEK, because that is what it's from OEK. I forget which settings I actually used. I think, I want to say it was, actually, I just have no idea. Do I have OEK open? I sure don't. Okay. I'm going to open it real fast just so I can tell you guys what the settings were for that. Rigid axis, that's what it is. So the rigid axis is, it's like you can draw a line, and then if you dump a little bit of water on it, it like spins crazily. The reason that this is so useful is that when you move the rigid axis, it keeps a lot of its solid state. It doesn't break like the bouncy shit does. And you can also slow it down with the right click. And with the right click, when you move it, you can spin it without actually rotating the object itself. But when you move it, you can actually move it as well as rotate it. So it's very useful. You have a lot more control with the rigid axis over how you use the object. So in this case, it worked very well to have Gaster flying across the screen with left click when I was moving it. You can actually see the mouse. This is one of the times where I was actually a little bit more subtle with the mouse. You can kind of see it in its eye, I believe. A lot of times I was not very subtle with the mouse, and I think that's part of the fun. Like, if you go back to the fire attack, I wasn't subtle with the mouse at all. It just sort of hints where the attacks are coming from. I feel like it just works for the best to do it that way. However, in this case, I actually changed my mouse color to black. I'm not sure if that's actually... Yeah, you can see on my screen right now that the mouse is black. And the reason I did that was so that I could chroma key it and hide the black mouse. Mainly just to give Snedgaster that feeling of he's controlling himself flying through space. I should also mention that when Snedgaster appears, the space background does start, so you see a little bit of stars floating in the background. That's a little aesthetic. Then it just ends. That's all Jaden really does. I think for the challenge Jaden gets, his is briefer than Ethan's is. Ethan has to do like about 30 seconds more. There's a couple more breaks with Ethan that get turned into trolls. There's a lot more trolls with Ethan's shit, where Jaden's is a lot more reactionary. Although there is plenty of trolls here. Again, the fucker right in the pussy guy, that's a troll. This lab part is just complete horse shit. I love it. And the laser-tastic barrage, of course. Yeah, I'm very happy with how Jaden's turned out. There's some parts where it's like a little bit lazy, like the fucker right in the pussy guy. That guy is just for a reference, really. There's no reason that it should be too exciting. The laser-tastic barrage is definitely my favorite part. Turned out amazing. For Ethan's, I'm not sure if Sayonara Spin is my favorite. You know, I'd really have to just go look at Ethan's to tell you exactly which part is my favorite. Let me just go take a quick look at Ethan's real fast so I can tell you. But yeah, definitely the Snedgaster. Nope, don't not that. Snedgaster definitely does have my favorite part in Jaden's. I should also mention that the laser sound effect is the Gaster Blaster at 200% speed. So if you're wondering what that sound effect is, that's all it is. Alright. Grab that. Alright, here we go. Now it's time for Ethan's. Ah, shit. Hello. Is it me you're looking? Ah, shit. I went on the complete wrong thing. Oopsies. There we go. I'm trying to link you to my edit video page. There we go. That should be the proper thing. Or not? Hello? Hello? Is it me? Come on. Grab it. Alright. Alright, I forgot it doesn't auto-delete everything when you copy-paste it. Man, this tablet's a pile of shit. Good thing this is all going to be one video, right? Oh my god, really? Yeah, thank you. Delete all that shit, please. Here we are. So let's take a quick peek at Ethan's part. Burning the Blend S girls is a pretty fun part, but it's not my favorite. What's a good part? I like the quiz. The quiz is a good amount of silliness. I think this is probably my favorite, not the Konosuba's. This is probably my favorite part here. After the Sayonara Spin, Ethan's actually continues after Sayonara Spin, which makes it extra unfair and mean, but I like that part about it. After the Konosubas come in, just the fact that it forces you over to the left side of the board, then you have to dodge in between the Sayoris and the stomping foot that's about to slam into you. You have to like duck in there, up, over, sit right there. It just promotes a lot of movement and it's a lot of trolly shit, but it's like fun trolly shit. And then, of course, you have Umara about to fly into the screen, so you have to jump into the tongue. It gives you time to do it. It's all fair. Just a lot of good parts. Now the steamed hands break, and then of course there's this complete horseshit attack. This is the attack that should have gotten the name, because this is the actually hard attack to dodge. The Sayonara Spin is really easy to dodge. Of course, though, when I made Sayonara Spin, this was before I had intended to give everyone a load screen attack. Load screen attacks are really supposed to be the flashiest. And with Ethan's, it was just like a load screen for spinning Sayori. That was all it was. The load was corresponding with the increasing speed of the hammer thrower. So giving Jaden a nice load screen also worked out, as well as myself. I gave myself one. Still have to think of what I want to do for Zoopers. I'm not sure yet, but I'm sure you guys have already seen it at this point, so you already know what it is. But that is going to wrap up this commentary on the Jaden's turn. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys back for either mine or Zooper's turn next. I think I'm doing Zooper's last, so probably mine. See you guys for that next time. Have a good one.